Prior to reviewing Company X's internal audit, it is wise to know exactly what an audit entails. The Society for Human Resource Management defines a human resource audit by taking an objective look at the company's human resource policies, practices, procedures, and strategies to protect the company, establish best practices, and identify opportunities for improvement. An objective review of the company's current procedures can help evaluate whether specific practice areas are adequate, effective, and even legal. The results of this can then provide management with the information necessary to decide which areas do in fact need improvement. Now, let's take a look at Company X, that is within the banking industry. Human resource employees at Company X are always busy. As one of the many companies across the nation that were affected by the financial crisis in 2008, Company X was forced to downsize its employee base, saving on overall payroll, where human resources took the biggest hit. Prior to the decrease, Company X had very small groups of employees focusing on individual daily tasks such as recruiting, training and development, and employee interaction. Still years after the financial crisis, HR employees are now finding themselves searching for time to complete the new challenges management is expecting from them. Multiple small groups focusing on these individual tasks is not going to yield the same results from even less employees concentrating on every area of HR. Upper management's main defense towards not re-expanding the department was that their goal was to have fewer, better trained employees who can be cross-trained to become experts in all areas of human resource. This poses additional questions for upper management. Do you spend the money to further train and develop your current employees, or is it wise to rethink your overall recruiting strategy and use more time and money to search for a well-rounded employee with prior experience in those specific areas? Keep in mind, the current employees that have lasted throughout the financial crisis downgrade have been with the company for at least 7 years now and have in fact mastered their particular areas of expertise. So will it be worth it to take the additional time to search for newer, younger talent when the current employees possess most of the skills and knowledge needed to management's knowing? Luckily for us, our audit, timing is everything. Our audit came just months after the performance appraisals of Company X were reviewed. What are the chances? These appraisals were done by both management on employees and employees focusing on management. Oddly enough, the top complaint by HR employees was a lack of compensation or monetary reward for the extra effort and time that they have been working. No overtime or bonus have been awarded to employees since the downgrade at all. Management have been extremely verbal, though, giving praise to the employees on a daily basis for the work they have been accomplishing with such few numbers in each department. Along with the monthly training sessions held by upper management, superiors can still not understand why the experienced employees were not grasping the concept of being cross-trained and completing additional work in multiple elements on time. So as auditors, what do we do for Company X? The first initial step for Company X, it would be able to understanding the department's objectives, programs, and challenges, all by a strategic analysis. The first step in this is to fully understand the company's vision. Now, from a similar company within the same industry, their vision stated that they wanted to satisfy all customers' financial needs and help them succeed financially. Taking this vision as example, if a company is to see its customers succeed, does that make the customers a higher priority than its employees? Company X's employees understand the role, and they are not intimidated by a competitor's vision. In order for management to properly critique its employees, employees must be fully aware of their expectations. They are attentive to the fact that they must provide more output with less team members. On paper and in payroll, this looks like a great idea, but in reality, it may be overworking and overwhelming to the employees. Superiors must set these specific, even attainable guidelines for production of the employees and be able to adapt them as time progresses on. Once we fully understand the department's objectives, we then identified the strategic issues. Based on the appraisals, we are aware that compensation was the #1 complaint by the employees, followed by the overall retention of training as #2. Now, aside from these two noted complaints, is it wise to also note that the chance of employee motivation could be inadequate as well? Based on the manager's idea of monthly training, if employees are not motivated, then they will not retain the information presented and the overall goal of cross-training the employees will have then failed. If future motivation does not increase, the employees will then decrease their value, and management will be forced then to recruit and to find a more motivated talent, more motivated employee. This information would not be conclusive, though, if it was not for the performance reviews. A topic such as motivation, though, could be minor to upper management, but might have a very high priority for employees. If the appraisals were not in place, then separate interviews, focus groups, or even surveys could have been used to dig deeper into the employees' mindsets. By prioritizing the issues at hand and establishing a procedure to eliminate any future threat, employees will gain notice of management putting in their time and effort just as they were before. To some, verbal motivation is all that is needed, but not every employee is motivated in the same way. Some employees may be visual learners or motivators, which can explain then the retention from training as well. Based upon these findings and future findings of employee strengths and weaknesses, management will be able to modify training and development, management styles, and hopefully overall employee output. As further research of the company concludes and management is aware of potential speed bumps or departments where employees may be lacking knowledge, an overall plan can be constructed. The strategic plan will be department specific to the human resource department. As individuals in other departments may have their own strengths and weaknesses, a separate plan and audit will be necessary to suggest any other further changes. Based upon Company X's findings, we came to the conclusion that because of the lack of monetary rewards, employees' motivation is clearly suffering. Superiors made the final decision to increase human resource employee salaries based upon our findings. The monthly training sessions will be reviewed and necessary alterations will be made accordingly. There will not be a public announcement within the company, but each employee will have an appointment and the opportunity to meet with their manager to discuss their employee reviews and provide feedback to management. We feel this is the surest way of obtaining information from employees based upon the reviews. That way, the information is coming directly from the employees. Management's overall decision on salary was from expanding the employees' workloads and minimum criteria to be accomplished, which should result in higher pay, either through higher salary or future overtime bonuses as well.